So the biggest thing I want to cover today is making sure that we know how to access the survey, the WOIS survey. Can I see a thumbs up really quick of those who have been able to access it? One person? Two people? Okay. So let me do the reverse of that now. So I've seen two people who said they were able to access. Let me see thumbs up now of those who were not able to access. Thumbs up if you were not able to access the survey. Not getting any responses. Juan, were you able to get access to the survey?
I haven't really tried.
Tried it? Okay. That's okay. Austin, were you able to get access to the survey?
I haven't tried either yet.
That's okay. That is totally okay because it's not due yet, but I just want to get some feedback so that I know if we're having any problems, okay? So what I am going to do, I'm going to donate some class time to it. I'm going to get the actual, the new password. So I emailed that out sometime last week. I had a couple of reports that the password wasn't working, so I emailed out a new password. I'm going to get that pulled up for everyone. And then make sure that I share that on the screen, okay? Hang tight here. Let's see. I may have to pull it up and just let me pull it up in a different way here. While I'm getting that to load, it's not showing up in my email, but I should have. I did send out, I believe, the correct password, but I see a chat message here. Okay, cool. But I'll see if I can find that correct email and make sure that we use it in the chat box, okay? Really quickly, let me go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to look at the other items that are due this week. And then I want to devote some class time today, though, to that survey and let everybody actually log in and try it while I'm here on the call. That way we can troubleshoot any problems. So I'll get that going for us. Your assignments for today or for this week, we've got kind of a lot going on. But here's the survey that I'm talking about. I'm going to get that new password in the chat box in just a second. That way, if you didn't receive the email or something like that, you've got it and we can try it. Remember, we're going to do a schedule planning worksheet. So this is the submission box for that. It's due in a couple weeks on February 21st. Here's the actual worksheet itself. And if you click on it, I'll show you one more time. This is what it looks like. You should have seen this before. When you registered here, you sat down with a guidance counselor and you kind of did some mapping on this, okay? But what you'll want to remember is to go and check out if you have got some changes in mind, thinking about a different major or whatever, you can explore the website. So the scc.spokane.edu website, and it kind of has the link here in the submission box. So you can click on this link. It takes you straight to the college's website, but specifically the areas of study that we offer. And then you can browse through those and it will have the list of classes you need to take. There's some ins and outs to it sometimes. Sometimes it's very straightforward, like if you're going into nursing or something like that. But in other cases, you might have some choices to make, etc. So for some students, it might take, honestly, a good hour and a half or a couple of hours to get it mapped out, what you'd like to take, etc. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you'll need to click on that. And then before you start filling out the worksheet, okay, you got a little time, but I advise students not to wait till the last minute on that one. Let me go over here to discussions. So for our discussion forum this week, it's a pretty easy one. We'll get into that chapter maybe at the end of this class period or either at the beginning of the next class period. There's always a wise choices section at the end of every chapter. So they've covered wise decisions to make with alcohol, wise decisions to make with smoking. Now it's talking about eating habits and how that can affect your health, etc. as you're a student, okay? So it's a pretty light topic. You'll just put a paragraph, you'll list 5 things, and then put a paragraph answering that question. And then lastly, though, we're going to return to one of the earlier topics. So you'll post just the better eating habits topic here. If you read part 2, it says the concepts of recognizing stereotypes and showing respect for others are key topics in our current chapter. So that topic comes up again in this chapter, okay? And many students shared some pretty heavy experiences a couple weeks ago when we did this topic, okay? So what I've done is I've reopened that one from a couple weeks ago. It's from week 4. I want you to go back to that one and respond to at least 2 people whose life experiences have been different than yours, and think about what you might do or what you should do if you were not the victim but you witnessed something that they described. So you'll go back, you'll look at the experiences that your peers have shared, and you'll choose 2 of them and think about, okay, if I had been someone who was standing there or who was present or who overheard that or who saw that, what should I do or could I do to help? To be a better ally to someone else in that type of situation. Okay. So again, this is a really simple one. Read the question, list 5 foods, and then write your paragraph. And then part 2 advises you to go back to the earlier discussion topic. It is open, so you should see it when you go to discussions here. You've got better eating habits. It's this one, the week 4 stereotypes one. And if you'll notice here, the availability, I opened it back up so that it's available until next week, okay? So you'll see the previous deadline that's still there, but you'll see that this one is available. You can go through and kind of read some of the experiences of your peers, choose 2 people to respond to, okay? Do I have any questions about that? The quiz, again, as always, we've got our quiz. I'll wait and see if I have time today. We may not. I want us to focus on that survey today. If not, we'll the first 10 minutes or so of class on Wednesday, I'll hit the highlights, what key pages you need to pay attention to for that quiz. So that is, as always, due on Sunday night. And now let me go to the survey. So this is the biggest part that I want us to focus on today. I'm going to give you some time during this call to work on this, and that way I can troubleshoot. So this site key was causing problems. I might actually try to edit it in the box here. I emailed out a different site key, but here's the link. I don't know if this screen share is going to follow me here, but let me click on it. You're going to go here, and when it asks you for mine says user ID and password because I'm already set up, but yours either somewhere at the top up here in the blue or somewhere on the side, it will ask for a site key. Rather, like once you get into the site key and you use that site key to get in, then it prompts you to like put in your name, put in your email, all of your information so that you can create your user ID and password for next time. Okay. So let me stop the share for a minute here. I'm going to try to get back to that email that I sent the class and make sure that I've got the correct site key out to everybody, or the one that's at least working. If you're already in, let me show you really quick. If you're already in, might take me a minute or 2 to get that new site key going. What we're going to do is go over to assessments. The portfolio part is just basically like once you're in, it's going to ask you to, to set up your login credentials or whatever. But the next thing you'll do once you've created that and set your username and password or whatever, you're going to go to assessments, and we're going to go in order here. The 2 that I want us to do by this weekend are the career interest areas and the interest profiler. So the career interest areas, I showed this last week, but I forgot to hit record. It's literally like you click on it and you choose one or the other. Which statement would you rather do? Write a novel or study the causes of earthquakes, plant and harvest crops or fight fires, install car stereos or teach someone to run a machine? Which of these 2 appeal, or which one appeals to you the most? So it's pretty easy. Most students finish this one in like, I would say 30 minutes or less. It might take you only 15 minutes to go through and make those choices. So if you're already in, go ahead and start that part. Give me a second here to make sure I've got the new site key for you. Hang tight, guys, and I'll get that going in the chat box. Okay, so that site key should be showing up in your box now. It's capital H, capital W, capital X, and then the numbers 650. So 650, capital H, capital W, capital X, 650. You should see that in your chat box. And that should enable you to get access. So everybody click on that link, try it, and see if you can get access. And once you're in, work on the 66 questions. I'll show you the other part as well. Give me a second here. If you finish the 66, there's another section underneath it. We're just going to go in order on that survey. There's quite a few parts, but we're going to go to the next part, which is the interest profiler. And I'll show that on the screen as well. The interest profiler. So we've got the career interest areas. That's the 66 questions I just demonstrated. The interest profiler. Once you go in there, it's going to give you a statement and you rate it. Do you strongly dislike this or do you really like it? And you got, you choose which one is, for each statement, you choose which one is the most accurate. Okay. So here's an example of what it looks like. Do you really like building kitchen cabinets or not so much? You just rate the ones that you like or don't like. Okay. Or in the middle or whatever. I'm going to stop talking for a little bit, but I'm still here. Literally, I want everybody to try to log in and get going on that. And I'm going to give us, it's 9:44. I'm going to give us a good 30 minutes to see if we can finish both of those, but I'm still here. So if you are having trouble, just speak up, just shout out on the call. If you need to log out in order to access that, that's fine. Again, the site key is capital H, capital W, capital X, 650 when you try to log in. And I'll close up with our final announcements at 10:15. So that gives us 30 minutes to try to achieve as much as you can on those and get that done. I'm still here though. Speak up if you need help.
Do you want us to go to the assessment portion on that?
Yes, go ahead and do like literally use some class time. People had a little trouble with it last week. I assigned it outside of class and people were having trouble. So just use the class time right now. Even if you have to log off of this and then log back in at 10:15, try to get that done. And that way, if people run into problems, you can let me know. So I'm just going to sit here on standby, but try to complete those. Okay.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah. It's recording. Okay. So Brianna's going to show us how to make sure that portfolio.
So you click portfolio, and then it'll come up with all this stuff, and then you just go down to profile.
Awesome. And she's not going to click it because that would show her personal stuff, but that's where you go to set those. And that's what it looks like on the student end. Thank you. Here we go. Okay. So starting on page 163, 164, as you go through questions that we're looking for here. What is interdependence? Okay. So they've got on page 165, if you look in your book, it talks about differences in terms, and we probably will go more in depth in this next time, but dependence, what is being dependent? What is codependent? I find that a lot of students are codependent, maybe in the family structure or in relationships, and kind of learning what to seek out in that way. Independent versus interdependent. And notice the title of the chapter is interdependence. So they're going to be focusing on that a lot. But you'll need to flag page 165. The first 4 questions on the quiz all come from that page where it's breaking those down. So first 4 questions come from 165. Mark that page. Active listening. There's a little section in the chapter where it talks about how to be a better active listener. And let me find that page here. Page 174. So there's a breakdown there. 174 about active listening. You'll need to mark that page. Another deeper question, and one that we're going to hopefully focus on for a discussion, like a live discussion on the next class period, starts on page 177, respecting cultural differences. And so there are some quiz questions here, but I would like for us to think a little bit more deeply about it. You'll notice in your discussion topic, one of the things that I'm asking you to think about is what to do if you see another person going through a difficult situation that's based on an assumption that someone has made about that person. I think most students have dealt with it. So it starts on page 177. That little section goes all the way through 182. So make sure you read through those pages carefully. And there's a lot there. We'll have some discussion time on it next class period. And the last couple of questions on the quiz have to do with, so page 182 through 185, 86 are talking about mentors, identifying a good mentor to help you as you finish your college career and move towards or as you finish your college career and move towards like an actual career. It's a section that's in blue. It's colored in light blue. The whole section is. Starts on page 182, goes all the way until page 186. There's a question on that. And then lastly, there's a question about making healthy eating choices. And that's talking especially about the Western diet. It starts on page 192. It's how they close out this week's chapter. So page 192 onward until the end of the chapter, healthy eating choices. So hopefully that helps as you get ready for your quiz. Key pages to focus on. Do I have any questions before I close the call?
I don't have a question about like the thing, but I do have a question about where to go to withdraw from a class.
Oh, great question. Is anyone else having this question or no? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and dismiss and just hang on to on the call with me for a second, Austin, okay? Have a good day, guys. I'll see you Wednesday. Come Wednesday ready to discuss, okay? Ready to have a discussion. Have a good day, guys.
You too.